Some crazy stuff happened this morning. This is the second time that this has ever happened in the history of Apple. It started off last night, 9.3.5 randomly stopped being signed. And so instead of, fixing the problem, Apple actually made it worse. It made it worse for them anyway. Way better for us, but worse for them. So instead of fixing the problem, they caused an entirely different problem. For us, it really wasn't a problem. For them, it was. Back in 2013, this same thing happened where completely out of nowhere, Apple started signing all of the firmwares that they stopped signing for all of the devices. Literally everything. So what that means is that you are able to, or, back in those days, you were able to go back down to iOS 5.4.3. We were speculating for a long time when and if that was ever going to happen again, which is exactly what happened. I went to bed around probably close to 12:10 Eastern. Now this started Eastern at 12:30 a.m. This started at 12:30. So I was so close. I was minutes away from being up for this. But of course, I fell asleep. I was really tired, didn't hear my phone buzzing. But I happened to wake up early. So I was like, oh my God, I just have a feeling all hell freaking broke loose while I was asleep. Maybe all hell broke loose and we got a jailbreak or something ridiculous happened. And that is just what happened. We didn't get a jailbreak, but something ridiculous happened. Apple started signing all of these firmwares for every single device. So you could go back to, if you had, let's say, a 6S, for example, you could go back to the original firmware that shipped with it. So you could go back to iOS 9, iOS 10, 10.2, and it was dubbed basically Downgrade Party. Yeah, that was what a lot of people were calling it. And it was crazy, and it lasted a couple of hours. But of course, by the time I woke up, everything was done. So I was kind of just seeing things as I had scrolled through my timeline. I said, oh, you might want to go and do this quick. And then I realized, oh, well, by the time I tweeted that, it was it had been over for an hour and a half, 2 hours already. So unfortunately, I was unable to save any blobs or downgrade any devices. I couldn't because I was sleeping when all this happened. Apple generally does not make that big of a screw up, and when they do, it generally doesn't happen very often. So this was a giant screw up on Apple's part. Somebody at Apple most likely is getting fired. All these firmware windows just started to open, and we got iOS 10, iOS 9, iOS 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, literally every single version of iOS was now open and being signed for every single device. And it was crazy because you could save blobs, you can downgrade, you could do whatever the heck you wanted to do for that limited amount of time that the window was open. And it was something that we have not seen since 2013. It was a very limited amount of time. I think it was open for 3-4 hours total. It wasn't very long at all. It was open for a very short amount of time. Apple caught on to what happened and they closed up the windows. Is it possible it could happen again? We really don't know. If it happens, it'll probably happen a long time from now. We've been speculating 5 years might be the amount of time. From 2013 to 2018, it was 5 years. So maybe it'll take another 5 years. Maybe in 2023, we'll be able to have this, huge window be open up again. And maybe all of you guys can downgrade once again in 2023. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what happens. Will you be in school? Will you be sleeping? Will you be out? Will you be on vacation? What will you be doing in 5 years from now in 2023? Who knows? Will it happen in 2023? I don't know. Hopefully in 5 years from now, I'll be able to reference this if it does happen and say, oh my God, it happened. Anyway, guys, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys so much for watching. And as always, this is David signing out.